There's so many cases that stand out.
Creating a thumb from a toe, either a big toe or a second toe. It's a 10-12 hour procedure. If I could do that once a week, I'd be happy to do that.
I had a trauma patient of a young girl who cut her wrist accidentally with glass. She had a devastating injury, including multiple nerves and tendons. And speaking to her, I told her she had a very bad injury and may never regain full function of her hand. She ended up progressing very well. She got full function of the back of her hand. She had full sensation, and she was just a very nice young lady.
I had just finished my fellowship, and we were at the DMC, and a gentleman, a high-low fell onto his hand. I never forget that. And it was totally crushed, and it took about 6-8 hours to fix his hand.
A case in my fellowship that a patient fell into some farm equipment and had pretty severe injuries, and we were in the OR for like multiple hours fixing him. He ended up doing pretty well, but it was really mind-opening and
was an unfortunate injury involving a hand and a paper shredder. Patient did require multiple surgeries over a lengthy course of time, but overall had an excellent outcome with return to work and essentially normal function of the hand.
There are a couple cases that stand out as big injuries that I've treated recently. Both of them have to do with unsafe storage and cleaning of firearms.
One that really stands out is a young lady who was shot in the wrist, and we've been working on her wrist for the last year and a half trying to get things back to normal, and we're actually almost there.
Was a man that came in to see me that had a huge mass on the back of his shoulder, and his wife was calling him Quasimodo because the mass had become so big. And after removing the mass, and it was probably at least 1.5 feet or so, he had a normal looking shoulder, and his wife thought it was the greatest thing.
My patient sustained a very severe laceration or cut to the forearm and had both tendon injury and a nerve injury. I'm happy to say that within a year after surgery, she's regained sensation in the hand and has full range of motion of the hand, and she's back to playing racquetball like she wanted to before surgery.
I used to cover a junior league hockey team in Minnesota, and as people probably know, hockey is a big thing in Minnesota. And there was one game I was covering where one of my players got checked on the ice pretty badly and ended up knocking out his 2 front teeth. We had to go out onto the ice and retrieve the teeth,